I am so excited for you to join this podcast today. We are talking about removing the blocks, flipping the script when you're not feeling yourself or feeling that positive vibes, and really kind of creating these tools that you could tap into in your toolbox when you're feeling a certain kind of way and you really need some help to flip the script. So let's get into the tips to help you remove the blocks so you can have the life of your dreams. Tip number one is to create a space in your home that is a place that you enjoy to go to, that you enjoy to go to. Maybe it's to journal, to work on your goals. Maybe it's to do some really good work, building a business or a side hustle or working on your career. Or maybe it's a place where you just go to reflect, meditate, anything that you want to do, but it's a place that you go to that you actually enjoy going to. For me, it's this room. I sit in my office. This is where I do my podcast. This is where I do a lot of my reels, that and in my kitchen. But this is a place where I go to do a lot of the things I love to do. It's kind of a shared space. I do my 9 to 5 when I work from home here, but I stare at my vision board. I stare at the outside. I look at the birds. Like, I enjoy this room. And sometimes I switch it around. So there's nothing wrong with like switching around your area to make it fit the mood that you're in the current season that you're in. I always like to change up my space. That makes me happy. Do you guys move around furniture? Is that like something that you do? Did you ever see the movie Because I Said So? It's Diane Keaton. Mandy Moore is in it. And basically they just, I don't know, life happens. They move around all this furniture. I'm always moving around furniture. I've been in all different spots. I am planning my new move in this room. And this room is so small. You have no idea. So that is really important. I think a lot of people call this environmental design. So really, put your goals on the wall, put your vision board on the wall, put little Post-its that remind you things, put your affirmations where you could see them, things that really make you be like, this is it. We did talk about in episode 3, how to create your why. It's an amazing idea to write your why out and put it above where you meditate, where you journal, where you see it every day, where you put your makeup on. Just remember your why. It kind of really helps you light that fire again when you're feeling kind of. Tip number 2, organization and straightening up kind of clears your mind. It really does. You think better when like your desk is clear, or when you walk into a room and it's all cluttered and there's shit everywhere. Like I always feel like angst. So I like to do something when I'm feeling when I walk into my room and I'm like, when I got ready for work in the morning and now there's clothes everywhere because I tried on 5 outfits. So I like to do what I call a tidy 20. I really, really try to do this every day. I need to do this after I finish recording this podcast. But I set my timer on my phone or my Alexa. She did turn blue. She did a little, but I whispered her, so she wasn't really sure. But I set 20-minute timer and I just tidy up. I'm not sitting there and cleaning like a mad woman, but I am just tidying up, straightening up, really just like removing the clutter visually so I can remove the clutter in my mind. Tip number 3 is set aside 1 hour a day and focus on your dreams, aspiration, and goals. Yes, I said 1 hour. This does not mean 1 hour straight. It does not. It could be 15 minutes in pockets of time here and there. Time should not be an excuse to get to your goals, to get to your happy life. That's the reason, right? You want to get to your goals so you could be happy. You have to spend the time. You have to take the hour a day. And I don't do it in 1 hour chunks. I now started to do it way more than an hour. I make, my dreams are my dreams for a reason. I want my happy life. So I spend a lot more time than 1 hour. But in the beginning, I was like, 1 hour? How am I going to create 1 hour? I am so stressed. I am so busy. And then I realized it doesn't have to be a whole hour. It could be 15 minutes here. If you're driving the kids to school, 15 minutes at the pickup line, or whatever it is, you find the time or schedule the time. I think that's the biggest thing. Schedule the time. A half hour before work, a half hour after work, whatever that is, but try to find the pockets of time to really just focus on your goals and your aspirations, because that's how they're going to come true if you have to do the work. Number 4 is every morning take 5 minutes and meditate. This was a hard one for me. I'm not going to lie. I still am trying really hard to meditate. I fall off, full transparency. I also learned something really amazing, and we're going to have Renee on here soon. I'm really hoping to record a podcast with her, but I did a sacred session with Renee. She lives in Florida, in Naples. I learned so much from her, and we'll get so much into this amazing work that she did with me, or for me, I should say, or helped me do myself. But I was talking to her about meditating. So part of this, we did a whole VIP day. It was like from, I think it was like from 7 in the morning to like 3 in the afternoon. And we started the day with her telling me that you need to meditate. I was like, oh, I really struggle with meditating, and sometimes I can't even do 10 minutes at home. And she was like, well, what do you do to meditate? And I was like, well, I sit in my office, I light a candle, or I always have to do something guided. And she's like, meditation doesn't have to be just sitting, your legs crisscrossed and like sitting there and, oming. You could meditate when you walk with your breath. And I was like, it was such an aha moment for me. I cannot wait till Renee comes on. It was really like eye-opening. Like I really thought I had to lay there in stillness. I mean, yes, it's great to do that. But if you're just starting out, you can really just go for a walk. And I thought that was just, I don't know. I was mind blown, to be honest. I was like, holy shit, that's what I could do. I could commit to that. So I really do enjoy that part of meditation. I do like guided meditations. I just Google YouTube 5-minute morning meditations and some things come up, and I just try different things. But meditating, just being by yourself, start out with just 5 minutes. Start out with 5 minutes. Do the 5-minute walk, do your walk, go for more than a 5-minute walk, but do your walk. And maybe for the first 5 minutes, don't put anything on your ears and just listen to nature, be with your breath, and really try to just be one with nature and your breath. Okay. Number 5 is my favorite. You have no idea. I'm doing like a happy dance if you could see me, because it's called writing your happy list. So this is so exciting. I have it in several places. I have it in a notebook. I have it on the notes app in my phone, and I kind of just, always adding to it. So it's kind of like a grateful list, but it's a little taking it a step further. So basically what you're going to do is just write down or put in your phone everything that truly makes you smile, that yes, you are grateful for, going back to the grateful list, that you are grateful for. The moment your child was born. For me, it's being with I remember my grandparents, and it just makes me so happy, even though they're not here anymore. I think of all the good things, and I get so happy. Your parents, a friend in your life that's like your person, or things that you like about yourself. It could be, I love my hair. You're not being conceited at all. These are just things that you think about, and you're like, yeah, I got good hair. Or yeah, my eyelashes are long. It could be, holy shit, I bought these kick-ass shoes yesterday, and that just makes me smile. Whatever it is, it just has to make you smile. And here's where you're kicking it up a notch. Have you ever been with your friends or family and you're like, oh my God, do you remember the time? And just start laughing your ass off? That is a bonus. Like, that is the thing that is going to flip the script, because you're going to read it and instantaneously laugh. You cannot be sad when you're laughing. In the moment, you could be sad before and sad after, but in the moment that you are laughing, you are not sad. Just remember that. You are not sad. You're not depressed in that moment that you're laughing. It is very, very true. So yes. Did you ever see did you ever see Sex in the City when she goes to her honeymoon without Mr. Big, and she's like, I don't know when I'll ever laugh again. And that whole thing happens with Charlotte, and she starts hysterical laughing. It's like she was not depressed in the time that she was laughing. So sometimes when you're really down and out and you have depression and you just don't know when is that time that you're going to laugh again? I know I've been there. Girl, I never thought I was going to laugh again, but it happens. You get through everything in life. Everything you do get through does take time. But these are the tools you're going to use to help you pull yourself out of that quicksand. Okay, number 6 is listen to a self-love or self-development book. Download Audible, put those earbuds on, listen to my podcast or listen to a podcast. But I love listening to self-development books. I always have. This is something I used to sit before podcasts and before kind of Audible. I know there was kind of audiobooks back in the day, but before all that, me and my best friend would go to Barnes and Nobles. We would get coffee, and I would literally sit, at the time it was called the self-help section. I think I sat in there for hours upon hours, and we would just read like all these books. It just it does really help. You should definitely give it a shot. Number 7, this might sound a little silly, but it really does work. And there's a whole book on this. But make your bed in the morning. I struggle with this. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. I have dogs that sleep in my bed until like after I'm way into my 5th meeting during the day, or I've already left for the office. But when they are not, I do try to make my bed. And the reason why you should make your bed in the morning is when you first get up, or when you first like kind of, you're ready to do stuff. It's your first accomplished task of the day. And it's like, my bed is made. I mean, my mom has been talking about making your bed since forever. And I always was like, but she's right. I mean, I even used to in high school sleep on my made bed so that I didn't have to make it. And she was so proud of me until she caught me one day. I was so pissed. But, Tip number 8, when you have overwhelmed your to-do list and your to-do list is on overload and there's a million things on it, if you're anything like me, I do tend to dump all of my thoughts and all my to-dos on a piece of paper. It just makes me feel like, okay, it's out there. It's on a piece of paper. That's just how I operate. But it could be extremely overwhelming. If I'm having a really busy day, I'm just like, how am I going to make all this happen? So the best thing to do is just look at it. And what are the 3 main things that you have to accomplish today? What are the 3 things? Pull those 3 things out. Take your to-do list and put it to the side. Just focus on those 3 things. This works perfect. I use this at work all the time because I have 100 million things to do, like every day. We all do. What I just do is, okay, what are the 3 must-dos for today? I have to read all my emails, read and answer all my emails. I need to comment on these strikeoffs. I need to, book a meeting, whatever. And I just focus on those 3 things. I focus on those 3 things, and I do not let myself do any other things on my to-do list until I'm done with those 3 things. And I finish those 3 things like that because it's 3 things. It's just 3 things. And then I move on to the next 3 things. And before I know it, I'm like well over done with my to-do list. So if you take things in small chunks, it just makes it feel a little bit less overwhelming. It's a great way to get through your to-do list. If you're feeling not so great way, if you're feeling depressed, when I was in a really bad depressive state, I used this tip, but I did it in a very different way. I didn't have this big grand to-do list and it was very exciting and all these things to do. I really didn't want to get up out of bed. Didn't get up out of bed. I just tasked myself with, I actually called them my mini goals, and they weren't less of my to-do list, but sometimes it's, I just want to get up and take a shower. And that sounds crazy, but when you're depressed, that's a big, tall task. So just take one thing at a time, just do it in 3s, and you can get there. You can totally get there. Number 9 is complete a challenge or a mini course. And the reason why that this is really get you unblocked is because sometimes if you want to do this big thing, like maybe it's, create a side hustle or create a business, maybe it's to learn a new camera or something like that. If you do this little mini challenge where there's accountability, you can really feel just this sense of super accomplishment. And it was an accomplishment in something that you've been aspiring to do. So this brings me to something that we are doing in my Facebook group. So I have a new Facebook group. It is called the Happy Life Goal Getters. And we are doing a challenge. I asked the group what life pillar they felt most stuck in, or what they can gain some help in. And just quickly, I'll give you what those life pillars are again, because I always do. Spirituality, finance, self-love, self-development, fun, home, relationships, health, and community. So those are the 10 life pillars. So I had asked the group what they were struggling with, and everybody said career. And I do this like career / business / side hustle. That's kind of how I do it. And everybody said their side hustle or their business. So we are doing a challenge in my Facebook group. It's more of an accountability challenge. So in there, everybody is writing what their goals are. They are putting it out in the universe, what their goal is when it comes to their business or side hustle or career. And what we are going to do is break your goal down into what are the daily tasks that you need to do every day. What are the weekly tasks? What is the task you should do every month? And we are going to build each other up, cheer each other on, and check in and make sure that you are doing your dailies, that you are doing the work, that you are forging ahead, and anything that you're having problems with, we're there to help and get you through it. So it's just a fun way to connect with the community and also help people. So yeah, I think it's going to be a great fun challenge. I'm very, very excited. Number 10, finances can be such a big stressor and cause a lot of blocks, to say the least. Getting familiar with your finances can be super overwhelming and not fun. I'm not going to say that it's fun, but when you get them in order in a way where you know your numbers and you're knowing what you're dealing with, it's like a spring cleaning of finances. It just feels so good. What I recommend is to do a 3-month look back. So basically take all of your credit card statements, all of your debit card statements, and your bank statements, and either print them out or look at them on the computer. I created a spreadsheet too for myself. I do this every so often because I go off the rails. I love to shop. So I created a spreadsheet, and you're more than welcome to have it if you want to just send me a DM on IG or send me an email. Everything of how to contact me is down below. Just send me a note and I will definitely just send you off this Excel spreadsheet that I created for myself. And it has everything listed of all the different categories like shopping, clothes, food, whatever kind of bills, all those things. So you do a 3-month look back. You could see where you're spending your money. It is eye-opening, like beyond eye-opening, beyond. So I really was very embarrassed on how much money I spent on food, and not good food. Very embarrassed. I nicked that big time. I realized shit, I am spending so much money on these subscriptions that I honestly didn't know, but that's a killer. So it's like this little spring cleaning of money, but just understanding your numbers is a big thing because it does really block you sometimes because you could be money is overwhelming, and don't make it overwhelming. Make it a good thing and a happy thing, and more money will come back to you. Number 11, start using affirmations. I like to write them on Post-it notes. I have them on my vision board. I have 4 affirmations on my vision board that I stare at every day. If you join my email list, I also have affirmations that I send to you via email. It's just like a little voice note and it gives you some affirmations. Definitely sign up for my email list to get that. It's just a great way to rewire your brain and remember what you're affirming in life and what you want in life. Number 12, get your body moving. We all should be doing exercise every day, but most importantly, just move. So I've been really, if you follow me on Instagram, I've been really trying to take a 45 to an hour walk every day. I've been obsessed with getting my steps in, but really started doing it because of clearing my mind. I really like to just push the negativity out. I really just wanted to get to a place where I can just get my mind right, and getting outside and moving is the best way to do that. You could start with a 10-minute walk, but I do 45 minutes to an hour because I really want to get that exercise, get my exercise ring closed. those are the 12 tips for today. Thank you so much for joining. I really, really want to know how you use these, what worked for you. And if you have any tips for me that I can maybe say in the next podcast and give you some cred, that would be amazing. All the ways to reach me are down below in the show notes. You can always email me at jen@just-jen.com and tell me what your tips are, and we will read them in the next podcast. Part 2 coming soon for the 12 more ways to unblock yourself. Have an amazing day. Thank you so much for listening. I really, really appreciate it.